Hey y'all, Bearder Bros Golf Show, back at it again. I'm Rod.
And Marcus
That sweaty man over there is Marcus.
glistening.
like like a cold bottle of beer.
Glistening.
All right, y'all. Kind of a light week in golf this week. With just really the FedEx Cup playoffs starting. We talked a little bit about those that weren't going to be participating. We talked a little bit last week about Rory missing this event by choice and kind of jumping back in there this week. So that's where we're at. We had a actual kind of dramatic playoffs to start the playoffs. Um,
Yep.
let's just talk about the few factors that we kind of just pre-gamed on and elaborate on those for the folks. So Tommy Fleetwood, I was watching remotely. I'm in a different time zone right now, so I wasn't able to catch the live footage in real time. But Tommy Fleetwood, I looked up and I thought the man had a chance to actually win it. He was solo first when I pulled up the PGA Tour app, and then I looked up and then saw that JJ Spawn and Justin Rose had approached the playoff. So if for
Yeah.
those out there that didn't get a chance to see it in real time, Marcus, break that down how Tommy ended up blowing another opportunity to get his first win on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. Another unfortunate situation. He didn't really do all that was necessary coming down the stretch. And when JJ Spawn and Justin Rose were surging and making birdies, he bogeyed and was kind of staying stagnant and made a lot of pars down the stretch. I mean, he did have three birdies on the backside, but they were all the beginning, so it didn't really matter in the end when he needed to clutch up and really just kind of got and left behind. I mean, Scotty shot 67, Jay Rose shot 67, JJ Spawn shot 65, and Tommy Fleetwood, shot 69. So, some days, you got to go out there and get a score, and this is a very scoreable course, especially with
Yeah.
it being not too much wind and everything out there. So, yeah, Tommy just did what Tommy does when it matters most. He didn't hit fairways. Um,
Yeah.
his fairway shots weren't as tight. So unfortunately for him, he's just got him put himself in that position more and more, just to kind of figure
Yeah.
out what the feelings are, what works best when he gets in that situation. So
Where does the
yeah,
swing break down? Um,
yeah,
I mean, we just saw him in a position I want to say, what, less than a month ago, where he had a
yeah,
chance to win another event and said, I'm going to keep putting myself, in that position. It seemed like he was very ready, kind of chomping at the bit at that point to put himself back in that position. And here we are, like you said, the 18, the fairway has to be hit. And he was unable to do it, ends up in that bunker. And that's unfortunate. One of the key core memories that I have from golf and watching golf is from this event a handful of years ago. I don't know if you remember this, but Dustin Johnson holding out on 18 for the walk off victory. Core memory just of watching golf and just like one how good his game was at that time. But yeah, this
hmm
course, just always comes down to the wire, and it's unfortunate. But JJ Spawn, Justin Rose, Justin Rose that quietly had a really solid year as well. We saw him, really perform at the Masters and try to hang in there, but kind of front runner. Not the first time that he's done well to start the Masters, but again, just a quietly solid season. What do you think about Jay Rose getting this victory to lead the playoffs?
um it's fine. I'm not the biggest Justin Rose fan. It's cool or whatever. I
I know,
mean,
I know.
I do. I guess Americans kind of give him a lot of flack because they were yelling USA and stuff in the playoff when he was going up against JJ Spawn and stuff. Which I think that was corny. I mean, like we have a week for that. It's coming up. I think we can withhold that for a
Right.
little bit. Um, but yeah, he wins. He's 45 now, and Still thinks he has a game. He's like, I mean, he's a tech geek now. I think the
With
most
all the
stable thing in
equipment
his
changes.
bag, yeah, he changes irons and driver. I mean, he's got some the new Taylor made wedges. He's had those for a while. He's had his Scotty
Yeah.
Cameron for a while. But going in between drivers, I think he was with Titleist. Now he's with a Callaway Paradigm Triple Diamond, and just went to some mirror irons from what he was playing. So I mean, whatever works. Like I said, I'm not gonna hate
I
on J
mean,
Rose, but
I'm
it's
gonna jump
cool.
ahead just for this point, and then we'll swing back. Not that that he needs props, because you know as well as I do. I don't love Justin Rose either. Uh, Caught him at a couple of PGA Tour events. One was definitely the Colonial. I want to say the other was
Hmm.
the Byron Nelson, or maybe the repeat of the Colonial, where the dude just
Yeah,
threw me like a dirty look. It was like, you're a jerk. But jumping ahead to kind of a later discussion, Justin Rose, I think, is now an automatic qualifier on the Ryder Cup. He's in that number two spot, right
yeah.
behind Rory McIlroy. So clearly, the last couple of years of golf have really, he's performed at his,
Hmm.
ripe old age, and figured the game out, kept himself in wonderful shape. I'll say that. In addition to all the tweaks and different things. I look at him compared to, every once in a while when I do people over at the Champions Tour, those guys have fallen off the ledge from a shape standpoint.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting watching how when those people cross over. But again, Justin Rose, for him to be approaching mid 40s to still keep himself up in the shape that he does, I think it definitely benefits his game. It'd be interesting, of course, with all the equipment tweaks to see where his swing speed currently is, especially when you compare that up to some of the more elite players of the game, right? Is he optimized? I mean, they all optimize through equipment, through some shape, form, or fashion, but is he
Yeah.
really, with all these changes, dialing it in to be able to keep up with the horses these days? Oh, I'm very curious on what the numbers look like on the monitors. Anything else just from the weekend that you want to point out
Um, in the shocker,
before we talk about the people that are out of it?
yeah, I mean, yeah, in a shocker, JJ Spawn is like the lead spokesman now for Lab Golf. I mean, that's kind of weird
Got to get
coming
paid.
with Adam Scott, but hey, he made like a 45 or 50 footer in one of the playoff holes to make
Yeah,
birdie. That's kind of what set off the USA chance. But yeah, I mean, he's been putting. He's been
he's got to
putting.
get that. Got to get those sponsorship dollars, especially now.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think we touched on this because it came in a weird time of the week a couple weeks ago. Lab Golf is now private equity owned. Most of the time, that
Yeah, they
spells some
got bought
pretty.
out.
Yeah, that usually spells a drop in quality long term. We'll see. I mean, people were already
Yeah.
throwing up their classic lab putters for ridiculous prices. Like get
Oh yeah.
your pre private equity lab.
The downfall is on the way.
The DF3 is going to be going on eBay for like $8,000 pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, and also, just as I mentioned for JJ Spawn, he has also taken the second spot in the Ryder Cup standings on the U.S. side. So,
Yeah. Very
cream,
solidified.
yeah, the current performers on the PGA Tour are actually benefiting from the Ryder Cup. Um, let's get into the people that aren't going to make it into next week. So, of course, right off the top, one of the biggest ones, and I think I was getting these articles sent to me mid tournament. Number one to miss is Jordan Spieth, and honestly, the play just isn't there. I mean, we've talked about Spieth, Justin Thomas, just JT has really kind of tried to really hard over the last couple of years to get his game back where it is. An article
Yeah.
that I saw mentioned Jordan Spieth's wrist still being a problem. I thought he had resolve that issue. Clearly, I'm wrong. I thought he had sat out, healed, got surgery, or whatever case was, to no longer have the injury be a factor in his play. But apparently, that may not be the case. What do you think the trajectory is for Jordan Spieth going forward? Do you think this is the player that we continue to see for the remainder of his career, kind of middling? We see the ghosts of the past every once in a while. He pops up, does well. Had a win a couple of years ago at the RBC. Or do we see him, kind of refocus in the same way that we've seen JT?
I think he refocuses. I mean, he just had another kid. He's got to put plate. He's got to put food on the plate. So, um, I think he'll be fine. I mean, he was coming in. He came into the week 48, so I'm not that surprised. He had to have not like a stellar week, but a good week, and he ain't had that. So I'm
Yeah.
not really surprised that he missed. I mean, until he proves otherwise, Jordan Spieth is going to be what Jordan Spieth is going to be. Now, do I think he still has a run in him to where he's not mediocre? Yeah, but I mean, the product is what the product is because he's coming off an injury and, he's had limited
Yeah.
starts. I think he's got to change his mentality. We talked about it earlier this season. I mean, he felt
Yeah.
slighted that he didn't get some crazy sponsors exemption to an elevated event that he did not deserve or earn. I mean, there wasn't any merit behind it. He just wanted it. So, okay, I want to be a millionaire. So what? What? Like,
Right. Got to go do something
be
about
for
it, right?
real. Yeah, bro. Yeah. So that still had me a little sour taste in my mouth about him. But all in all, I'm
Yeah.
still a Spieth fan. I'm not sitting here I'm definitely not a Spieth hater. I for sure enjoy his putting and his imagination and everything like that. So like I said, I still have faith that he'll come along and hopefully next season he'll do what he's supposed to do and maybe catch some momentum off like a President's Cup something or other seed or ranking that he got. I don't know, but no, I
Yeah,
don't
because
think
it's
he's done.
definitely not a captain's pick this year. I would
No,
hope that we don't make that mistake again.
no, absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, if we're talking about guys that missed it, you got to look at a
Got
guy like Minwoo
Wyndham
Lee.
Clark. Yeah.
Minwoo Lee won. No, Wyndham Clark's getting what he deserves. He needs to go somewhere and sit
We'll
down.
we'll come back to
He
Minwoo. We'll come back to Wyndham Clark. I'll let you unleash on him last, but Minwoo Lee, 100% feels like he should.
Minwoo Lee, yeah, he was a winner. It's not like he missed big weeks. He played in the elevated stuff. The pressure, it's
Yeah.
not like he's dealing with nerves or pressure. He's very calm in front of the camera, so I don't know what that is. I think he needs to lock in a little bit more, focused in. I mean, he's still young though, so he's living life. But for you to go 50 to 57, bad look, brother. I mean, Wyndham Clark,
Yeah.
49 to 56. Jake Knapp, 47 to 55. I know people got to go. I know people got to slide, but, I
Right.
wasn't looking at them. I wasn't looking at
Well,
them at
for
all. I
for
mean,
Minwoo Lee, I mean, in a field with 69 players, for you to finish tied for 68, that's it. I mean,
right.
ultimately, you
Yeah,
got to
no, he played
perform.
his, yeah, he was very first off, he was a dew sweeper, he was played by himself because of the odd number
Yeah,
and literally played in
think he
2 hours
played
and 10
in.
minutes.
Yep, absolutely saw that.
Yeah. Aldrich Potgieter, he went from 43rd to 43rd to 52nd. Not surprised, but also kind of like that's a big drop. You drop 9 spots.
Yeah,
Maybe like 5, 6. You didn't really have your best stuff, but you drop damn near double digits, bro. That's bad. That's really
I
bad.
think for him, he suffered from limited starts early on in the year, not having, I don't think, the same status that he had after the win. So I think that may have contributed for him. Just kind of ran out of points.
Well,
Couple
I
of
mean,
other.
he was in that playoff in the Mexico Open early in the season. He had opportunities.
Yeah,
He got in a lot of events off of that, and he got into some elevated events too. He
I know,
wasn't
no
playing in them
doubt.
off field events.
Another one that's notable, which I'm not surprised by, Tony Finau has had kind of the worst ho hum. I mean, to me, Tony's like the biggest. I don't want to sound like a dramatic person, but the talent and then what he's been able to do with that talent here as of late, very disappointing. You know, given what we know he can do, how he can move the ball, it just seems like there's areas of his game that he kind of refuses to clean up that can make him a better player. Just seems to be living off the length as much as possible, but not the mid irons and short wedges. Just not great. And then the putting's horrible as well. I saw that Tony finally is going to switch over to a mallet putter this week. Um, I mean, finally, right? I mean, he's been a bad putter long enough. It's very interesting that he's finally making that switch. We'll see if that makes a difference for him next season, but definitely a throwaway year this year. Any other ones before we
Yeah,
jump
he
back
can't
to
putt.
any others that you want to elaborate on before we jump back to Wyndham?
Um,
Aaron Rye, Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk's not surprising. I mean, cool. He's keeping his card. He's moving on to next
I feel
year.
like Chris Kirk
That's
had limited starts.
yeah, and didn't get a
I feel
win
like
this
he coming
year. I
off,
don't.
yeah, he came off an injury, didn't do what he was supposed to do at in Detroit or Minnesota, or whatever, the 3M or something like that. One of those. He was up there in
Yeah.
contention. He was in that 3 man
Oh
playoff. We talked about him.
no, that's the Rocky
The one
Mortgage
that
Classic
Podgita
in
won.
Detroit. That Rocket Mortgage in Detroit.
Okay. One of them.
Yeah, that one. I'm looking back at Minwoo Lee just for I think what probably plagues Minwoo. Not that it's a significant number, but he's got some cuts in bigger events that I
Yeah.
think probably hurt him as well. The Open missed the cut. U.S. Open missed the cut. Arnold Palmer missed the cut. PGA Championship. So in three of the four majors, Minwoo Lee missed the cut. That makes a huge difference when you're not able to get some of those additional points
Yeah.
from those bigger events. So that's his story. So yeah, let's talk about Wyndham real quick. I mean, we saw him blow up at the U.S. Open, tear up those lockers. We saw him throw a driver in the PJ Championship. It happened really quickly, back to back. Um, just the anger and the issues controlling his emotions um, continue to bubble over, and this is going back to last year. So these events are not new. I ultimately agree with what you said right off the bat, which is he's getting what he deserves. Golf is truly a game of composure, keeping your head in it. Once we know, just like even our small playing get days, you lose it mentally. It's all over at that point. So
Yeah.
um, go ahead and go off and get angry at some Wyndham Clark. I know you got it in you.
No, it's not even worth it. Hopefully he gets one of them little. Hopefully we don't see him till March or something like that, and he gets one of those Dustin Johnson suspensions where he's just taking a break
Oh,
from the
quiet.
tour, but really yeah, they don't really divulge that information, but hopefully we don't see him until February, like the American Express or whatever. Hopefully we don't see him for a while, or maybe he takes the steps and does it himself. But it's not worth it to even get my pennies in a bunch or whoever over that dude when it's just embarrassing. Only I mean, at this point, for you to look like that and think there's a redemption to that without you speaking words and verbally apologizing. Everybody can write something down. Everybody can use Chat GPT and AI and everything like that to write them up a nice little script. But you need to make a presser. You got enough pull. Post a video on social media. Say the actual words, or you know, um, put the work in.
Yeah.
Donate to some anger management therapist or whatever you want us to call it. You
Go,
know what I'm saying?
Go hang with some kids and
Right.
rehab the
You
image
need to
because it.
do yeah, you need to do a DeChambeau tour. You know, he was yeah, that's all I got for
I
my
know.
man's because I ain't about to sit here and get angry over that,
Yeah,
bro.
go off. I know. One last note for regarding the playoffs before we move on to the kind of the Ryder Cup standings and where everything lies going into the BMW. So the BMW is the cutoff for Ryder Cup standing. So whatever is after that, well,
Yeah.
at the conclusion of this weekend, is what it will be. I did see early this morning, Seb Straka has pulled out from his second straight event as well due to a family matter. So hopefully all resolves there. We're not, no injury talk. Just it says family matter. So always concerning when that happens. I mean, I think it's also a reminder that even if you're doing well in life, Sepp Straka's got 2 wins on tour this year. That
3.
three. Wow, this year that things can happen, right? In your personal life, they're still human beings with real life situations that happen in the background, and again, no amount of money shields you from shit happening to you in life. So hopefully
Yeah.
everything is cool on the home front for Seb Straka, but on we go.
Yeah.
Let me pull up my screen here just to show the USA standings on the Ryder Cup and where things are from where we reviewed them a few weeks ago.
I mean, luckily, Seb Straka's spot is solidified in both FedEx Cup and Ryder Cup stuff, so he's chilling.
Yeah, yeah, he's solidly number 5 on the FedEx. So, as we can see here, we have Scotty Scheffler sitting in the top spot. Definitely makes sense. As mentioned earlier, JJ Spawn, number 2 after that U.S. Open win, really competitive season. We were really doubting coming out of that second event in Hawaii. We really had the knives out for JJ, really in a supportive, like, hey, we just want you to get your stuff together type of mentality, not
Right.
like, hey, you don't have it, but it's just like, dude, you're missing something. And honestly, just watching him the last half of the season, one of the best iron players that I can remember seeing in a long time. Very, very
Yeah.
accurate. Xander Schauffele, I'm a little surprised with the high finish here, but I think this is largely based on his 2 major wins last year carrying over.
Yeah.
Um, hadn't really had the best season this year, but say la vie. Russell Henley, bro. This one's probably the most surprising on the list. Um, I mean, do you remember any wins for him as of late in the last 2 years or what?
He won the Arnold Palmer this year, elevated event. I mean, he's a consistent player. He don't
He's
do anything
consistent.
crazy. He don't miss a lot of cuts. He played in the President's Cup and was a big problem for the internationals last year too. Had a lot of top fives last year. He's been consistent. I
Yeah.
think he's like to me, I'm not surprised. I'm more surprised at Harris English because Harris English has only had this season really of to shown of note, and he still hasn't won. He's
Right.
just having good finishes,
Yeah.
like the
Clear.
Open, and then when they was in Torrey Pines 2 weeks in a row or whatever. One of those
Yeah.
weeks he was really high up. So yeah, I'm more surprised that Harris English was an automatic qualifier, but he cooked out Morikawa, who's number 7 now, and then JT got kicked out. He's number 8, but I
Flipping.
mean it's a good list. I think we're getting some fresh blood in there.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure. Not the same retreads. So let's just go with this little lineup of people that are on the screen. If you're Keegan Bradley, who do you? I mean, we're not going to see any material changes. I don't think this week where anybody jumps somebody or somebody falls outside of that top 6. I think we're pretty much set. Who do you pick from these? Because I feel like we're not going to go a straight six out of this grouping. Somebody's going to come from outside of this group to make it in. But who would you pick for this year's Ryder Cup out of this list that we have on screen right here?
JT's a lock.
Yeah.
Morikawa, unfortunately.
Do you go in?
He's a head
Because I
case.
mean,
He's a head case,
we're
but
on
you
caddy
have
number.
to.
Are we on caddy number 6 this year? Do you take
Uh,
that man? Do you take that man to the Ryder Cup with his situation without a? I don't know, man. That's risky to me.
you
But
have to.
I get it. I
You
get
have
it.
to.
So that's two. That's two.
You have
You do
to.
Ben
I
Griffin?
mean,
Do do you take Ben Griffin? I mean, we've seen him really perform this year.
yeah.
Okay, 3. Keegan self selects.
At this point, probably if he has another good week, he's
Yeah,
got to.
he's kind of put
That's
himself in a
4.
weird position. I don't think you. I don't pick Mav McNeely, even though he's had a really good year too. Um, I don't know. I feel like you need somebody that can go get a lot of birdies,
He
and
ain't.
I don't think the
Yeah.
next. I don't. I don't think the
He
next 3 fit that.
he ain't got the. McNeely ain't got the cojones yet, bro. He just ain't been there enough. Um, I,
Novak,
ooh,
no. Harmon, I hate.
I pick.
Like, please don't.
I'll probably put
We need 2
Nowak in
more
there, at least in the discussion. At least in the
in the
discussion.
discussion. I mean, you call him, you interview him, you see what it looks like I don't know, with the relationships that these guys have. And then you kind of get into that next set, right? I don't know, based on the
You've
most
already
recent
scrolled too far.
you don't pick Cameron Young even based on the most recent win?
No, I think you don't go past. I think you don't go past Sam Burns.
Okay. Oh, that's what you're
I
saying.
don't.
So
Yeah,
do you
Wyndham
think
Clark and
Sam
on. I don't respect.
I would honestly, I agree with the 4 that you picked above, and I think I would go Cam Young and Sam Burns. Respectfully pass on Patrick Cantlay this year. He's just not played. He's played mediocre golf this year for his talent level. It's just not been very good. Um, hasn't been near the top of any leaderboards. Just very ho hum.
But yet he is 19th in the FedEx Cup standings.
I know. I know. It's weird.
You
I
got
don't
to
know.
pick
Let me pull
Cantley.
up.
It's Cam Young and Cantley because Cam. Even if you just send Cantley out twice and then his solo, he's going to be paired with Xander Schauffele, and the synergy there is still there. They're still home. You good for 2 points right there. And then if they really blow somebody out, like a 4-3 or some shit, you probably run them a third session. You know, I think now we have captains with cojones that don't just go off the script and play favorites. I think that's why we
Yeah.
had a good time the last time in Whistling Straits. We went with the flow. We didn't do anything stupid. We didn't overthink anything, and that's why we lost in Rome or Italy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's why we lost. We sent out some dumb pairings. We saw it on the very first day.
Yeah.
Now, see, Rod, you talking about me getting pissed about Wyndham Clark? That shit still has me angry to this day. Those were the wackiest pairings I've ever seen on a day one. It was so bad, Rod. It was so bad that they changed the odds-on winning of the session from America landslide to European side winning. That's how bad the pairings were.
I know.
Despicable
It's
work,
pretty.
bro.
It's rough. It's
Despicable.
clearly still it's 2 years later. Still with Marcus.
Well, fucking
Um.
5-0, was it not?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got dump
It's
truck, bro.
true.
It was embarrassing.
I just wanted to go through Cantlay's results just because I don't know, man. So mediocre as of late. So FedEx, the St. Jude T9 cut at the Open Championship, T32 at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. The fact that he was there is says a lot. Travelers T12 cut at the U.S. Open. There's so many people that really flailed out in the majors this year. He's another one that missed the cut at three of the four majors. Memorial T12 cut at the PGA Championship. The Truist was a elevated event T4. RBC Heritage T13. Masters T36. Valero T33. Players T12. He's just had clearly no victories in there. Handful of T top tens. Really just a handful. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see how things shake out. We'll see if he can finish decently in the playoffs. Let's switch over to Europe real quick. I do think that they're going to get boat raced this year. I just don't think that they have a chance.
They don't have shit
Even
past their
with,
front six. I'm not
you
sorry.
know, no, no, no. Beyond them, it's going to be pretty rough. I mean, even though it feels
And
like
even then,
the Americans.
yeah,
So
the
Rory,
Americans have
Justin
it, but
Rose, Tommy Fleetwood is I don't know. He's probably going to do better in a team event than he does on his own.
yeah,
Unless he gets down to singles. Bob McIntyre, he's a grinder. I mean, I respect the heck out of his game. We've talked about Terrell all year. The man plays golf every week. He's a baller. Terrell's your guy. Seb Straka, as you mentioned, solidly in there. No chance he's going to drop. So let's get to down below that and where it starts getting real dicey for them. So Shane Lowry, not horrible, but and does well in the team game. But you pick him, right? You pick Shane Lowry.
yes,
Højgaard, Rasmus. I'm dicey on that
no,
one. He got in the last Ryder Cup, right?
yeah,
Played a couple sessions. Ludwig, definitely. I mean, that's
staple,
where there's a there's a couple standouts. He's gonna do well. I think you pick Vic Hovland, of course.
yeah,
Um, I skip over Matt Wallace. I just don't think he's a big time
yeah,
gamer. Team room guy, but not the guy that can go um, head up with somebody. You just don't take his
yeah.
talent against most. Matt Fitzpatrick, I think, is also a pick. We saw Thomas Dietrich earlier in the year with a win. So we got Lowry, Aberg. We skipped over Højgaard, Hovland 3, 4 with Fitzpatrick. What do you think about Dietrich?
I don't know. I can't pick them. I feel like earlier in the season, after the run after the run at the Waste Management, where he kind of really just steamrolled the field, it really looked like he was gonna carry a lot of that into the next week. Didn't really
But yeah,
translate, but
no, he's laid
I don't
down
know what
since
you
then.
do after. I don't know what you do after that. I don't. I mean, I'm still not a believer in Aaron Rye. I mean, you
No.
might have to. We might have to scroll back up and get Twin Bro. We might have to just get Rasmus. I don't know. But I mean, if you go to the
Yeah.
scroll back up to 1 through 6, because honestly, I think the way this season is going, I think J Rose going to be burnt out by the time Ryder Cup comes.
No.
That age going to show.
I
I
don't
don't think
I don't think so. I
he's
think
going to
just
play.
Justin Rose is the new Ian Poulter. You know
No,
that
no.
week fires J Rose up. I'm willing to bet that. I think he gets in kind of like the middle of the pack in terms of sessions played. I don't think they bench him that much. I think they're gonna go for his energy.
They probably do play him. Do I think he succeeds? No. Do I think he's a part of a winning team? No. And honestly, I think they probably Luke Donald being the captain. I think J Rose does play 4 or 5 sessions. I think he might play all 5. I think he what funny enough, I think what happens is he might be the better teammate on some of these duos, but I think his team loses. I think he goes 1-4. I think he goes
All
one
right.
and four. I think he
Okay.
I think he gets swept in team and then shows face in solos just to kind of be like, I am still that guy if you really want to go there. But it's only for him. It's only 1-on-1. And I don't know. I think if Bob is up, Bob is up. If Bob is
Yeah.
down,
He can
Bob,
get
we might
he
not
can
see you
get
again,
boat
brother.
he can
Yeah.
get boat race sometimes, but
Yeah.
we'll
We
see.
might
I
not see
mean,
Bob again, bro.
yeah,
I
it
think
gets real
Shane
sad.
Lowry gets up for it.
So
I
this
think
Nicholas Norgard guy, he was leading early on in the year, or like in the top automatic, and then has steadily fallen down. I can't say I've ever seen this kid play, but it kind of speaks
he
to where
he
they're at.
he's same 6'5", long, lanky, hit the ball a mile, can't really do
Right.
nothing else. I mean,
Okay,
Rasmus,
we
Neergaard, Peterson, same thing.
yeah, God, I think we need two
Marco
more.
Pingue, he doing it too. No, 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 no. We got five.
Oh,
Remember?
uh,
Oh, Don
you
Rom,
picked it. No, we're gonna yeah.
Shane,
Rom is in there.
Shane
So
Lowry,
okay, so let
Albert,
me count.
Hovland,
Shane, that's three.
Albert.
Fitzpatrick, no, yeah, Lowry,
That,
Aber, Hovland, Fitzpatrick,
that's
four.
four. John Rom is five.
Yep. Uh, God,
Uh,
it's a toss up.
uh,
It's a toss
like
up.
I said, you might
Matty
have to. We
Smith,
might have to just scroll
maybe.
back up and get Rasmus.
Yeah, I feel like that may be the case. The other
Aaron
twin is way
Ryan
down
one.
there.
The what?
Matty
Luke
Smith,
Donald
maybe.
already done. No,
They're not afraid to go youth on the Euro side.
hell no. The way
That
Luke
was
Donald,
that last pick's gonna be dicey for them.
the way Luke Donald tweeted and talking shit about Aaron Ryan, he ain't picking him all the way back
Oh, I
from
didn't see that.
2018.
Oh,
2018.
please and
But
please not.
Aaron
Please
Rodgers,
no.
Aaron Rodgers,
I would.
he's a little slow player.
And Sergio Garcia is so insufferable at this stage, and the begging that he has done to try to get that spot.
Yeah.
Um, he's a donkey.
No,
He gets out there for one session if he gets on.
he's a vice captain at best, DJ. Don't, hell no. Thomas Dietrich. I
Let's see.
don't know. I picked
Yeah, I feel
Jordan
like
Smith
just from a talent standpoint.
ain't did it long enough. Paul
Uh,
Waring won last year and ain't did shit since. Monteo
has
Montecero,
has
he had a long
yeah,
little run. It ain't
not
nothing
enough
no more.
not enough motion for Manacero
I
right
want to
now.
know how their point system works on DP World Tour. Scroll back up
Where?
because
Which area?
uh like go back down like 40s, like 40s.
Okay.
Um like a guy like Callum Hill, he been in contention. I feel like damn near every week on DP World Tour, and he's just 45.
Yeah, and I would say I agree with your thought because there's a couple names that are getting regular starts on the PGA Tour. So Jaeger is one where I would expect him to have been higher. Um,
Yeah,
he's had some competitive finishes on the PGA Tour. It's very interesting that he's not above 40.
he won last
Valimaki,
season.
same. Valimaki had a win last year as well
Yeah,
on the PGA Tour. That's weird. I mean, I agree. I think their point system is interesting. That's why I think the picks, while it seems straightforward to us, I think they could probably get kind of interesting. Like, don't get me wrong. I respect what Luke Donald did in the last Ryder Cup. I think he's definitely got a knack for this kind of team golf deal.
yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like this one's such a toss up. But yeah, we totally forgot about Rom just hanging out there down in the damn 20s.
20s,
That's crazy.
22.
Get on the golf course, bro. Anyway, so yeah,
They
we'll
giving
see
out
next
free
week, right?
exemptions right now.
No, especially for the live guys on the DP World
They
Tour.
finna start paying for
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. Let's see here. What's else on our list? So Ryder Cup standings. The ladies are back in action this week. I'm excited to catch that on the West Coast, so that's a little bit closer in time to me. Hopefully to catch some footage of that out there. Any notes from the LPGA? We talked a lot about them
Um,
last week.
mm, I wonder who's in the field.
Let's see. Let me pull up my notes on that.
Oh, they probably playing a
Angel,
cool. They probably playing a cool little course.
I think because of the delay or just them being off a couple weeks. So the headliners: Angel Yin, Grace Kim, who just won the Evian. Rose Zhang is in the field. Heiran Ryu is in the field as well. Um, Jutanagarn is defending. Looks like we got Lilia Vu also playing this week. So they
Brooke,
got some names out
Yuka,
here.
Lynn Grant,
This
old
one's
complaining ass.
this one's weird. Julie Inkster, um,
I saw that
you
first on
know,
the list.
is
She's like fourth on the list.
right. Making it says long awaited return as if I don't know. I mean,
She
I
was
get it, the
hurt.
history. Oh, check this out. Here's some weird ones. So I'm just reading from their article. Julie Inkster, Natalie Golbus, fourth start of the season. That's crazy.
Huh?
Christina Kim, you know, has been in the booth for ESPN
Yeah,
golf and does a great job. She's also in the field. So interesting. Interesting little field here. Some
yeah.
classics along with some stalwarts.
Stacey Lewis still getting
So
starts somehow.
somehow. All right. What else we got? Again, light weekend golf, but we're gonna make the best of it. And kind of the
The
last
old men
thing
played. Woohoo!
they
Cool
played, they were on
story.
TV.
Yeah,
You
the
said cool
bowling
story.
classic. Yeah,
That
I
was
mean, I only watched
in
because of
Seattle,
Freddie
right?
Couples.
That's
Yeah,
right. He shows up. The hometown Freddie in Seattle.
yeah. He was over par. He wasn't even in. It wasn't even close.
Really.
Some Australian dude named Steve Allen won.
I
Ernie
watched
else
a.
choked.
Oh, really? That sucks.
Yeah.
So we saw, Liv playing. I think we said three back-to-back weeks. This past week they were in Chicago, playing Bolingbrook. Shout out to
Yep.
Bolingbrook. We always gotta clown them. It's a get you a hot deal on Golf Now for Bolingbrook.
All right.
Um, they're playing in Indiana this week. First time seeing this course on TV. So maybe I'll catch it. Maybe I won't. But they're playing 3 weeks, and then they're doing their team championship the following week. But blast from the past, Hudson Swafford, um, started with Liv, ended up not playing well enough to keep his spot. Revealed some interesting stuff about his suspension. Apparently, he's under he totally went about the departure the wrong way and ended up with a 5-year suspension just because I don't think he was even asking for exceptions. Clearly had confidence that he was going to make this live thing work for him for the long term. But now he's on, podcasts doing interviews about his time with live, and it's just as sad as you think it would be. There's a link in the description. Uh yeah, it's kind of sad. So, any thoughts from you on Hudson Swafford and his comments around Live? And clearly he needs a place to play golf, so he's out here essentially lobbying for a solution. But the talks have come very slowly. What are your thoughts?
His fault.
I know you didn't
His
give it to him.
fault. Well, I mean, bro, you had a job. You thought you was gonna get you a promotion. They really didn't like your personality up top. So whose fault is that, bro? Sometimes you can't be the boss. Sometimes you don't need to get promoted. Sometimes you just need to stay the middleman, ride out your benefits, make sure you got some in the pocket, and then going off. But you know what? He got
Yeah.
25 million or whatever. He got his shit up front. He got his uniforms.
Do you
I don't
think
know.
Swafford was worth 25 mil? I don't know. I
Well,
hope
that
that's
was
not the
like
number, the
that was like
standard.
the base. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was like the on the low end. But shoot, they thought more of him
He,
than they thought of Tom McKibben. Tom McKibben signed for 8 mil.
I know. So Hudson Swafford was
Broke
always the
out.
bootleg Harris English to me.
Exactly.
So, um, yeah, man, Live is interesting. And there's been a lot more speculation as a lot of these contracts are starting to roll down to their completion about what's going to happen. I think that's finally being discussed in a tangible way. I think people are actually
Yeah.
having serious discussions that Live honestly doesn't look like it's going to be going forward at the conclusion of these contracts. The players that they've been able to sign the last 2 to 3 years, I mean, Rom was their last really significant earth moving signing, and that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like you said, has been kind of like an auxiliary signing. Tom McKibben, the college kid who's not doing well this year in their league. They've had a rough go. They've not been able to get players. They are not able to pull the card that they're vying for world ranking points, and that even though they've been moaning and groaning about it, that continues to be the standard for qualifications into bigger events that aren't majors or whatnot. So a lot of the majors have
Yeah.
cleared the way in other ways. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be very interesting what happens here in the next. I don't think this year is going to be a kind of. I mean, we're on the throes of death for Live. I think next year, I think is truly the conclusion of it. Maybe another two, but again, a lot of these contracts are running dry. Um, DeChambeau earlier in the year was very evasive when talking about what his future plans are, as his contract is coming to an end as well. So who the hell knows? And we don't know who handled the back end part of it correctly in terms of asking for waivers, exiting with some grace with the PGA Tour, and allowing themselves for a
Yeah.
return later. I think they probably still have to do some kind of paperwork with the PGA Tour. Um, but they've been keeping that quiet. Although we haven't, again, on the front end, on the business side of it, we've seen no conclusive talks. The new CEO of the PGA Tour made some initial statements, but we haven't seen anything else from him since then. So it's all a mystery at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
Mike,
hopefully, Liv didn't hire this new dude or whatever to replace Greg Weasel or Greg Animal, Greg Landshark. What is his name? Norman. Okay, my
the
fault.
shark,
Greg Norman.
the
Yeah.
weasel, the land shark. My God.
Okay.
All
So
right, Greg Norman's gonna
Greg,
come for you, bro.
yeah, Greg the Nose. Well, whoever they got to replace him, I know they didn't
It's
just hire
some
him
Nike guy.
on. Yeah, Scott something or other. I don't know. Um, I think they got a few more years in them. I don't know who these stars are that they finna poach because Ricky Fowler just had a decent year again. He in the
Mm-hmm.
second week of the playoffs. Tony Finau has talked about how allegiant he is to the PGA. I don't know.
And they're not
Maybe
going to throw
Wyndham
that big
Clark.
money anymore. They're not throwing the big money, even for Tony Finau.
Maybe Wyndham Clark. After all this whole turmoil, maybe he just finds a way out. He can just be as angry as he wants to over there.
Because
Just get
nobody
mad
will
at the
know.
drones, get mad at the music, get mad at the fans. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he'll find a home
The
over there.
maybe.
Or
Yeah.
maybe, hey, maybe new star boy, Patton Desire, he could go over there too, punting putters and stuff. Maybe he go over there. He'll fit right in.
No doubt.
I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't
No
know,
doubt.
but I know you. I know they're not gonna really throw money into live like that anymore. But I don't think they just. I don't think they just run dry. I think they give it
They don't fold. They
just a few more
restructure of
years.
some sort. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I don't think it'll.
call
I
it a
don't think it'll
world
die.
tour or something different.
I think it'll fizzle. It'll just fizzle, and they'll figure out a way to somehow gracefully swing it into the PGA Tour. But the days of big news and it being a disruptor are long gone. I don't even scroll X Twitter anymore that often, but I don't even see the same level of trolling coming from that camp anymore. Um, the bots aren't working as hard, so I think they see their writing on the wall. Man, I haven't touched a golf club in like 2 weeks. How's your game looking, bro?
I played today. It was okay. I mean, I have the lefts right now. It's not very fun.
Lefts
Um,
with driver or all clubs?
pretty much everything but wedges. Wedges were really good. Short game was really good. Was scaring the hole a lot. Gus Wortham punched their greens last week
Oh, that sucks.
for the Houston Am or whatever, but no, they were actually pretty decent. They weren't too bumpy. They were a little bit slower than they usually are. Gus Wortham's got some of the best greens in the city of Houston, so they even their subpar greens are still better than most greens in the city right now. But it was decent. I mean, I shot 76. I didn't do a lot of stupid things. Like I was able to save it, but I had a few dumb
Yeah,
holes, but yeah. I mean, like I was telling you last week, I played in that scramble for the U of H alumni, U of H athletic alumni or whatever, and I felt like I could do no wrong with my driver. It's a little bit frustrating to come down and play today, and like the driver was like not at a loss. Like I still had some decent drives and stuff like that, but not nearly as consistent, not nearly as free willing as I would like it to be. But
yeah,
I don't know. Body wise, I'm feeling good. So distance wasn't a problem on a lot of holes and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm relatively excited about how the game is trending. And again, short game is always going to save me. So I'm very at ease with my chipping and putting being, relatively dialed in right now. So,
no doubt.
I mean, when's your
Yeah,
plans? What's your plans to play?
I'm okay. So we are kind of on the tail end of our trip through Japan. We have done Tokyo, Kyoto, and somebody clowned me for the way I said Tokyo. They're like, put on a cowboy hat when you say it that way. So Tokyo, Kyoto. Today, we spent the last couple days in Osaka, which is not far from Kyoto. Osaka is like legit, bro. Um, I thought I would love Tokyo more or the most, but we were kind of comparing it to like American cities in terms of feel. And
Hmm.
Osaka feels very much like Dallas, but it's got like a lot of art stuff going on. Um,
Yeah.
we had to stop at Apple Store last night for me to get a new screen protector, and there were so many. Like I shouldn't say so many. We talked to transplants, people that had like transferred to that Apple Store here in Osaka because it was newer, so
Hmm.
chatted it up with this young lady from Florida who greeted us at the door. That was kind of cool, and we just kind of like we're just like, hey, how do you like it? Did you try some other place in Japan before coming here? And she's like, no, Osaka's been it, and it's been honestly probably the best feeling city. But Japan as a whole, I say, is like 11 out of 10. That's just the technology and just the feel of it. So Friday we're supposed to leave. fingers crossed on that. Luggage and getting your stuff across the world is not easy. So even though we trimmed out a lot of stuff, we have clothes to try to get us through a couple of weeks, before washing. Um,
Hmm.
and so we're having to ship. We had to ship our stuff from like Tokyo in boxes to our last final stop for Friday. If it makes it, we get to get on
Yeah.
that plane. If we don't, we're delayed. But if everything goes according to plan, we'll be in Bangkok, Thailand next week. And it is my plan before Wednesday of next week to play around the golf. I'm fiending. I'm lugging my clubs around, just not able to play. And we got some really good perspective from one of our Uber drivers in Tokyo, and he was saying, "Oh, you play golf?" Because we were loading up my golf clubs onto into his van, and he's like, "Golf in Japan is very expensive," and I don't really know how much it is. I have no frame of reference, but he's like, it's so rare. Like all the courses are on the outskirts. I think there may have been one near Tokyo that wasn't like in the mountains, but golf
Yeah.
in Japan is very much an experience and I think a game of access. I'm learning very much, the cultural part of, Japan and who has access to things and who doesn't.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, that's kind of crazy." And every time I tell people that's what's in my travel bag is like golf clubs, they're like, "Oh, like it's crazy for somebody to play
Hmm.
golf here." So that's been an interesting deal, and it's unfortunate that I'm not going to get to play. But the fact that we're closer now, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make golf in Japan happen at some point since we're
Yeah, I was about to say you
6
got a
out. We're
whole
gonna,
week.
yeah. I mean, yeah, but we'll see. I reached out to that guy on Instagram, Sean something, and I don't think I ever heard. I did not hear back from his service. I don't know what that says about the quality at this point, but I reached out a couple like beginning of last week to see if they could set me up with something because getting access to some of these courses as a foreigner else is a little bit hard. Like you have to be a part of a
Yeah.
group, kind of like a Mark Crossfield, like set it up prior to. So maybe my timing was a little bit tight, and our plans were also very flexible. So we'll see. I'm still holding out hope. As long as I'm still dragging these clubs all across the country, I'm gonna hold out hope that maybe we get it in, but definitely sometime next week in Thailand. Regardless, I'm gonna play golf.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fiending. I want to just I want to see how it feels after not touching the clubs for 3 weeks. Feels like closer to four. It'll be closer to four at that point, but we'll see,
Yeah.
bro. I'm missing the game for sure. Um, and not even being able to watch it as conveniently. That's definitely something that's been different, right? I'm so used to being able to just turn on Golf Channel. Um, Now the time difference is, you know, strange and trying to keep up with it. So my morning is middle of the night. Your, daytime is night for me. So it's been hard
Yeah.
as it relates to golf, but it's been fun. We are making some memories and enjoying ourselves. As a family, it's been the adventure and life experience that we felt we needed. So I'll say that. And getting some normalcy. The last couple of weeks, getting to talk to you, talk to the chat, and just enjoy that part of it, and kind of as a respite from jumping on trains, taxis, Ubers, all that stuff. Traveling from Airbnb to hotels, like that was a crazy experience yesterday. We got to an Airbnb and the stuff hadn't been cleaned. It was my first experience with this with Airbnb. So previous person's towels, bedding, trash was still there. Messaging, we had to reroute real quick, find a hotel in Osaka, which I think it's all part of the experience. Ended up working out, but yeah, nothing's.
Yeah.
You're learning, right? I feel like a child again, where you're starting to experience all these things for the first time. That's what it feels like, right? And it's
Yeah.
same thing like when we first started playing golf. That desire to get better fast and know as much as you can, and it feels like you're taking in all this information. Um, like world travel feels like that, like learning the game of golf. That you don't know what you don't know until you experience it, and you can't fix it or correct it until you make an error. So
Yeah.
that's what it's been. So anyway, all right, my guy. Again, we should be stable next week, and we'll be able to do this thing. The time difference will only be 12 hours at that point. So we'll be able to go 9 to 9, which I think actually will work out better. 11 in Japan is kind of middle of the day. It kind of throws some weird stuff in there, so we'll be able to go
Yeah.
9 to 9. But we'll be back at it. We either Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or at the latest Tuesday, which would be crazy, but probably Sunday, Monday. Bearder Bros Golf Show. Appreciate y'all tuning in per usual. We'll be back to talk about finalized Ryder Cup results. Second round of the playoffs going into Eastlake. The ladies are back in action. Looking forward to it. I'm sure DP World Tour is probably teeing it up again too. So we'll see you then. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
Later, y'all.